Now, when you guys say don't set an expectation, um, from a growing standpoint or a success standpoint, is that bad?
Don't what you said?
A growing standpoint or a like to be successful standpoint is, having no expectations bad? Because
There's a
I mean,
difference. Go ahead.
I'll set the bar somewhere, hoping to achieve it every day, but I won't. But at least it won't be as high, so that disappointment is not as much.
There's nothing wrong with setting goals because every company has to do that. Every community and they have to do that to know where they're headed. But being emotionally attached to the goal is not healthy. Like whether you get that or you don't, it affects your happiness and you're like attached to it. If you're like that, then it owns you.
This is where you figure out that you, like we were talking about earlier, that you have more control over you than you have to talk to yourself. You have to coach yourself. I mean, for what I do, I always tell people I'm going to do 2 deals a day. 2 deals a day. That's the focus. 2 deals a day, this many calls, this many texts, this many emails, and I'm going to have things done at this time. If I don't meet that, that doesn't mean that I'm a failure in the long run because I'll still, I still have other things I need to do. That doesn't mean that I am a failure as a person. Did I fail to meet that goal? Yes, but that goal is there for me to have progress. Like if I just say I just want to be better today, I just want to be better. That's not something to live by. That's not something to set your watch by. That's completely soft and is going to go wherever it wants to go. But in this scenario, when you say I'm going to do 2 deals a day, I'm going to do this much and this much, you may not hit those because in some cases you may have 3 deals. You might not be able to do the other thing. You may only have 1 deal, but you're able to do double what you can do over there. You set those goals as markers that you want to hit, but you have to look at it from the long term perspective. And the long term perspective, you need to take out emotionality, like Jason said. You can't be emotional about these things. You got to understand this is how I'm going to approach it. Because honestly, the only thing you have control over, you can set all the goals you want in life. The only thing you have control over is what you put in, what your approach is every day, your approach every day. If you actually fulfill your approach and you actually go at that the best that you can, that's something that you can actually sit there and be like, okay, at least I hit these goals. At least I went in that direction. I didn't hit all of them. It wasn't a perfect game. I didn't pitch a perfect game, but you know what? I still got the W. Or you know what? I still got us. I still got us a chance to win the game. Baseball stuff. If you don't follow baseball, I get that. But yeah, I mean, it's like you said, getting emotionally connected to these goals. I mean, you're now making these goals a lot more than what they are. You need those goals to set the pace. But in all honesty, it's you versus the person you were yesterday. Like we said earlier, yes, the only person I hate in my company when they put out rankings for the whole company because I think that's dumb. The only person that I compete against is myself because the only person that gets paid off these numbers is myself. So as long as you are better than what you were the day before, as long as you are setting goals, they're going to get you deeper into the game, get you more games towards the big goal itself. That you can put your hat on. You're gonna eventually find success, and with that, you can at least have a moniker and be like, you know what, I went out there, and some days you might have to say, you know what, hey, I didn't hit the goals, I didn't even try. At that point, that's when you can say, hey, I gotta try harder. Give yourself a little bit of a flogging or whatever. But at that point, if you want to hit that long term goal, getting emotionally invested in these things in these targets are not gonna it's not gonna help you psychologically in the long term. At that point, you may become miserable at what you do or doing what you do. That's just from experience too. So does that make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah, kind of a bit mind blown for a bit here. So
Yes, sir. And then the third thing that we didn't, the third thing was to look down. Don't look up so much. Don't compare yourself to the millionaire 22-year-old that got spent his money in stocks and now has so much money. Like, so many people your age, I feel like you're way ahead, Brian. Look down. Like, I remember when I first went to my like first mission trips, my parents like signed me up. I had no choice. And like I remember going there and it was in another country. And like we went into this one place where it was like a trash dump. It was literally a landfill. And the people near that landfill were taking all the like trash debris and making homes out of them and living there at that landfill. Even though there's like bacteria, like all this toxic, chemicals around, they were living there. And I remember coming back home thinking like, dang, even though I didn't have much, still, I had more than them. Looking down helps. And then last but not least, peer group. This is what Joe Rogan said, is like, cut all the negative people out of your life, because that really, the people around you really affect you and your subconscious mind. And that's why I love this. I love that DJ's here, Raul's here, Shami's here, because we're all in a sense lifting each other up and talking about positivity and optimistic answers. We haven't gathered together so that we could talk about how fucked up life is and how shitty, things are. You know what I mean? It's actually not common to have peer group like this. It's actually not. Where not only are we like optimistic, but we're teaching each other and growing in wisdom, and then sharing this like hopeful, optimistic energy vibe. So peer group really helps, Brian. Being around like positive, optimistic people that, utilize your time wisely. Make you walk away feeling motivated or wanting to do more. Instead of, oh, life sucks, I'm fucking down and out and shit's so bad. Peer group really helps.